If this is one of those days, I'm really glad you're here. This is Kallaborate, where joy becomes your foundation. Not the loud kind of joy, but the kind you build, piece by piece, after life changes everything. I'm Francene, and I'm walking this with you. If you were here last week, we talked about something many of us struggle to do: allowing ourselves to be supported, learning that we don't have to carry everything alone. Today, I want to talk about something I didn't even realize was happening while it was happening: learning to carry both. When people talk about healing, they sometimes describe a moment, a breakthrough, an awakening, an aha realization. The truth is, that wasn't my experience. I can't tell you the exact day grief got lighter. I can't point to a specific moment and say, that's when everything changed. Because it didn't happen that way. It happened so slowly, I didn't notice it was happening. Maybe you've experienced that too. For a long time, grief felt like it was everywhere. Every thought, every holiday, every birthday, every milestone, every quiet moment. Not because I wanted it there, but because losing a child changes everything. When Kat died, the world I knew disappeared. For a very long time, surviving took all the energy I had. But somewhere along the way, something began to shift. Not dramatically, not all at once, just little things. So small, I almost missed them. Seeing her child grow, watching that smile get bigger every year, seeing pieces of Kat show up in unexpected ways. Sometimes I hear her laugh, and it sounds exactly like her mom's. Instead of heartbreaking, it makes me smile. Because today, I find joy in the memories. There was a time when every memory felt connected to the loss. Every memory hurt. Every memory reminded me of what happened. Now, the memories remind me of who she was. And that feels different. One of those moments came a few years ago, watching Kat's child graduate. Life was not easy after losing her mother. The years that followed were hard. There was catching up to do. There was healing to do. There was learning to believe in herself again. Together, we believed it was possible. When I watched her walk across that stage, I wasn't just seeing a diploma. I was seeing resilience. I was seeing courage. I was seeing a future that once felt uncertain. I remember thinking, Kat would be so proud. Year one Francene would never have believed that Kat's daughter would someday be turning 22. And she is. Today. As this episode is being released, she's celebrating her 22nd birthday. The same age Kat was when she died. Maybe what surprises me most is that I don't spend every day worrying she is fighting for her life. She gets to be 22. She gets to dream. She gets to build a future. She gets to live. That brings me more joy than words can fully explain. When my grandchildren were little, I used to take them camping for a week every summer. Just the grandkids, Papa, and myself. Usually it was my birthday week, which made it an extra special week, a chance to make memories. Looking back now, sadness never came on those trips. There was too much life happening, too many adventures, too many campfires, too many stories, too many memories being made. Maybe I didn't realize it then, but those were some of the first places where joy had room to breathe again. The grandchildren have grown now, well, most of them. Life looks different. My husband isn't up for those adventures the way we once were. But I'm grateful for every one of those summers. They taught me something I didn't understand at the time. Joy and grief can sit around the same campfire. Those moments didn't erase the grief. They reminded me that life was still happening. Eventually, I realized something. Not that grief was gone, but life had started growing around it. Like roots finding their way around a stone. The stone was still there, but so was the growth. The roots didn't remove the stone. They simply found another way forward. Maybe that's what rebuilding really is. Not removing what hurt us, not pretending it wasn't there, but continuing to grow anyway. Because the grief was still there. The love was still there. Now, so was the life growing around them. There's something else I've learned. Every morning before I get out of bed, I make a choice. I choose to look for the happy. Not because sadness is gone, because it isn't. I still miss Kat every day. I still wonder who she would be at 40 years old. What kind of mother would she be to an adult child? What she would do for joy. Whether we'd take mother-daughter trips together. I miss all the things that can never be. I still find joy in the life that is. Sadness doesn't need my help finding me. It already knows where I live. The happy sometimes needs an invitation. So every morning, I choose to look for it. Maybe as you're listening, take a moment and notice what's around you. The feeling of your feet touching the floor, the chair beneath you, the sound closest to you, the temperature of the air. Just this moment, nothing more. Because so much of rebuilding happens right here. Before I go to sleep each night, I spend a few moments thinking about what I'm grateful for. I used to write them down every single day. After almost 18 years, I don't need the notebook anymore. Now I simply say them to myself. Some days the list is long. Some days it's short. Must be at least 5 things, though. There is always something. A conversation, a memory, a laugh, a lesson, a moment. Something. When I end my day looking for those things, I often wake up a little more ready to notice them again. I think that's what learning to carry both really means. Not balancing grief and joy perfectly. Not arriving at some magical place where everything feels resolved. It's making room for both. Some days grief takes up more space. Some days joy does. Eventually, you stop feeling like you have to choose between them, because love created both. For a long time, I thought carrying grief meant carrying sadness. Now I understand something different. What I am really carrying is love. Love for my daughter, love for my family, love for the people who helped me survive, love for the life I still get to live, and love has room for joy. Joy is not something I lost. It's something I rebuilt, one small moment at a time. Maybe today, your happy is a butterfly. Maybe it's a sunrise. Maybe every light turns green on the way to work. Maybe your coffee or tea tastes especially good. Maybe a gentle breeze catches your attention. Maybe it's a text from someone you love. Around here, we don't ignore the sadness. We just make sure the happy gets invited too. There was a time when saying Kat's name out loud hurt. Not because I didn't want to say it, but because every time I did, it reminded me she wasn't here. Today, saying her name feels different. It still carries sadness, but it also carries love. Maybe that's part of the healing too. Learning that remembering doesn't pull us backward. Sometimes it helps us carry people forward. Next week, we'll spend some time honoring the people we carry with us, the names that still matter, the people who help shape our lives, the people we continue to love, the people whose stories are still being written through us. Because even when they are no longer physically here, they remain part of our story. Around here, we remember them together. If this is one of those days, I'm really glad you're here. You don't have to choose between grief and joy. You don't have to leave one behind to experience the other. Sometimes, healing simply means making room for both. We're going to keep walking this together, one conversation at a time. I see you. If you're rebuilding, one piece at a time, follow Kallaborate wherever you listen to podcasts and be part of the conversations ahead.